so strange to mostly have people online and not in the audience. I'm so used to speaking to an audience. Okay, first, before I go there, I just quickly want to tell you a bit about our system and the system that we use for administration in Alexforbes. We've chosen to use a system that we internally called Kanya. It's actually the Compass system from a company called FIS in America. We were the first administrator locally to take a version of the system, but since then the system has been adopted by a couple of other large administrators. I won't mention names. Within our environment, we've got a dedicated support team to support our administrators to make sure that they use that system to the best of the ability of the system. We've also got a small dedicated development team, but that development team only does what I call peripheral development. It's not the large developments, okay? The moment we have got major developments that we need to do big changes to our system, we do outsource it back to FIS, who then do that development for us. We will still test it, etc., but we'd rather outsource the bigger developments. Because this environment is a changing environment, Louise also touched on it, we've got our own dedicated training team, and that training team makes sure that our administrators is always up to speed with how to use the system correctly, because there's continuous changes. Because it's a high-risk environment, we obviously back our admin system up on a daily basis. So daily, we call it an incremental backup. Anything we did on our admin system today is backed up tonight. And then on a Friday, we take a full backup of the system. So everything that exists on the system, a copy is taken of that. And again, it gets stored offsite. Okay, so it's incremental daily and full backups on Friday. We have got a disaster recovery site, and we test that site regularly. For all our P1 applications or Tier 1 applications, we do at least 4 disaster recovery tests on an annual basis. And what we do in that test is we just make sure that we can bring the system up within about 4 hours in a disaster site outside our current environment, just to make sure that there is continuity of business should something go wrong, not that we expect it to, touch wood. Because it's an international system, we get the benefit of international best practice. So every 2 years, we take an upgrade of our Kanya system. And what we get with that upgrade is any development they've done for all their clients across the globe. So whether the client sits in Australia, the UK, in South Africa, in the States, any development they've done, when we take an upgrade, we automatically get that code into our environment, and we can then see how we can use that upgraded code for the benefit of our clients. Now we can improve our services to you. We hold the source code for the system in an escrow agreement, and that just says if something happens to FIS, not that it would, they are a massive company. I think they employ something like 37,000 people globally. But if something happens to FIS, that they stop to exist or they are bought over by someone we don't like, whatever, we effectively own the source code for the system, and we can continue running that system without a risk of being exposed to FIS. Okay, that's an escrow agreement. And then we've got a very extensive cybersecurity framework. Kuma's going to touch on this in more detail, but perhaps what I do want to mention here is, and Geraldine also touches on that, in fact, red and blue team testing we do on a regular basis. That's offensive and defensive team testing. So it is what they call ethical hackers, a bit of an oxymoron. I don't think a hacker can be ethical, but it's ethical hackers that come and try and find weaknesses in our environment. And then the blue team is the offensive team that try and strengthen those weaknesses that we identify. Okay, we do that at least on a biannual basis. Okay. I spoke to that. Our approach is heavily focused on automation. Louisa would have spoken in our model, our structure, about Johan's team that focuses on optimizing business processes and getting the massive efficiency and automation into our environment. I'm not going to read through the slide, but we've done extensive automation on all the major components within our environment. Claims, there's some automation already on the contribution collection cycles, although we do want to do more there. There's a workflow system that tracks work in our environment, etc. So lots and lots of automation already in place, but we will continue to focus on further automation. And really the reason for this is summarized in the project that we ran during 2020 and 2021 called Kalisa. So we did in 2020, we did lots of analysis of our environment. We looked at things like, where do complaints come from? If we analyze our complaints register, why do members complain? Where we don't get good CSAT scores from our clients, what is it that's causing us not to get good scores? When we get calls into our contact center, what is it that's causing members to call us? What are they phoning about? What are they following up on? We looked at our admin teams in terms of saying what takes the most time, or what do you find to be the most frustrating processes? And putting all of that together, we came up with a program that we internally called Kalisa that had a couple of objectives. One, we wanted to reduce risk internally for us to have better risk management practice within our environment, but we also wanted to reduce risk for our clients, to make their jobs less risky, because we're all human and we all make mistakes. We also wanted to improve efficiency. A big part of the drive to improve efficiency is not only to provide better service levels, that's a natural consequence of efficiency, but also because all these legislative changes that Fiona spoke about cost an absolute fortune to implement. There's major developments that we have to do. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to be in a position where we have to go to our clients to fund those developments. So by putting more efficiency into our environment, we are able to better manage our cost to provide services to you, so that hopefully over the long run, we can continue only giving you CPI-related adjustments to your fees. So that's the big part of efficiency. We also wanted better controls of our environment. The last thing we want to do is to find out that something went wrong when a member phones us to say he or she has not been paid. We want to know that the member hasn't been paid, and we want to be able to address it proactively. So we needed to get better controls, and that's part of why we implemented our workflow system. And then we critically wanted to enhance the client experience for both the employer users that we work with, as well as the members of the funds. We wanted them to get a better experience where they've got high interaction or touch points with Alexforbes. So the analysis resulted in 3 focus areas that we implemented in. We focused on claims processing, and those of you that do use our new version of AF Online are getting the benefit of this already, as well as contribution collection and allocation. We introduced some efficiency in there. We've got for the first time the ability to do straight through processing on that, but it's very basic capability at this stage. We need to build on that. And then also we've got the ability for the first time to do Section 14 transfers through the AF Online website. Okay. Resources, we spent a budget of about 60 million on that project over the 2 years, 2020, 2021. We had 69 program and engineering staff on it. We had at least 25 subject matter experts from the business advising the engineering team on how to solve and improve these processes. And the entire team consisted of more than 120 people for those 2 years. It resulted in digitization and automation, improved integration between our systems and in that process, reduced processing times on a significant number of processes, and we're also seeing quite a good increase in the number of STP claims. STP is straight through processing claims, where there's no human touching that claim. The system based on a rule set processes the claim from start to finish, which makes it an incredibly efficient process and fast process. There's less manual processing in the environment, and then there's also reduced calls coming into the contact center for assisted queries, because we're also communicating better to members in terms of what's happening on the benefits. So onto the members, we've got 3 platforms or 3 solutions for members to interact with us. There's the AF Online website that you access through a computer. There's the mobile app that you access on a smartphone. And for those members that don't have access to either one of those 2, we do also offer a very basic USSD service. Okay. Members can choose which one of those services they want to use. So some of our members choose to only stick to USSD, only use that service, nothing else. Other members choose to only use the app. Some people choose to use either the app or the website. They hop between the 2. And then we do have a small handful of people that we see hopping between all 3 of those solutions. Okay, so you use the solution as you see fit. What's on there? So on these solutions, AF Online and the mobile app, you can access your personal record as it's held on the retirement fund. So as we get the contribution details, we load those details into our Kanya system, and that's what we effectively display to the member. So the member can see his or her static details, they can see their fund credit, they can download their fund credit from there, they can do a nomination or beneficiary form online, they can access their investment portfolios, they can access fact sheets for their investment portfolios, etc. And that's really what we've got available in a solution that I'm going to speak to you about later, that's called Member Search, for employers to get access to your member records. Okay. There's lots of educational content, tools first available, and financial modeling tools, how to budget, how to do a death needs analysis to see if your current life cover is adequate to cover your beneficiaries, how to project how much you're going to be able to purchase as an income or annuity when you retire. Lots of those tools are available. Those tools are only available on AF Online, not on the mobile app. But then on both the AF Online and the mobile app, there's lots of educational content to help members improve their financial acumen, both in the form of text articles as well as in video format, just to teach people about what this financial concept of saving for retirement is all about. And then there is a lot of associated information on there, such as wills and understanding why a nomination form is important and all those things. Okay. Very quick Menti. This one's going to be a very quick one, just one question that we got for you. Sorry, just need to escape out of there, go to the next one. If I can find my mouse, found my mouse. Okay, so I'm going to show you the code in a second. It's already at the top of the page, but let me just show you the code. So the menti.com again, code for this one is 17400146. You can scan the QR code with your phone if you want to. So it's menti.com, 17400146. Code is again at the top of the screen for those of you who haven't scanned the code or entered the code as yet. So which member solutions do you think your members would prefer to use? Okay, it looks like, I'm not going to take too much time on this, it's almost 70 responses. Most people think it's the mobile app versus then AF Online, then USSD. It's interesting, we're seeing across all of our funds, most people still prefer to use AF Online. However, on especially the retail funds, we are seeing the opposite. The picture that you see on screen is very true to all the retail funds that we administer, but across all the funds under administration, AF Online still accounts for about 60% of the total traffic. However, when it comes to the registration, only registration, not using on a monthly basis, AF Online still accounts for almost 80% of the registration processes, although you can register on the app as well. Okay. Just interesting stat. Okay. Then very quickly, I just want to very quickly show you, we are busy rebranding or relaunching AF Online. It's going to be rebranded as AF Connect. So as a member logging into AF Online, that's pretty much what you land up on when you log in. You obviously see the tools at the top and you see your retirement savings, and if you've got additional voluntary savings modeled into it, you can also see that on the system. However, that site is being rebranded to AF Connect, and it's using all the new latest development trends in terms of what a website looks like. So very soon, from the 1st of April, we are running this as a pilot with 25 of our clients to get feedback from users in terms of how they experience the new site, what we need to improve on. And then from the 1st of May, we'll progressively start rolling that out to all of our other clients. But this is the new version of AF Online. You can see there's content on the right-hand side. If I can find the right button on here. In terms of documentation available to the member, it's a summary of the member information. If the member continues to scroll, they get to see the current fund credit, their life cover, disability cover, etc. There is still the option for the member to capture external savings products that they may want to onto AF Online, so they've got a single view. We are going to start showing the members progress with their claims, provided they've registered for AF Online. So there's no longer a need for them to follow up with you or to phone our contact center. If they go onto the app or they go into AF Online, AF Connect, new brand, they'll be able to see it there. We're going to create some awareness of other financial products, and then the educational content that was always separate on the old site now becomes part of the main site. We found that on the old site, people didn't really go into the financial education component on that side. They kind of missed it because they just came into this fund credit section. So for that reason, we decided to make it part of the main screen. It's going to be the same site or same kind of view that you got on a mobile app. Again, claim details in there for members, etc., which should result in a lot less queries because the members can see what's happening the whole time. We're also going to start engaging actively with members when they turn 50 and 55. We're going to start the engagement through a birthday message, but the real objective is to get those members to start thinking actively about their retirement and planning for retirement. So there would be engagement, and that also shows you on screen, we're about to launch a WhatsApp chat to our clients, where clients can start engaging with us. It's not only this available through there, members will also be able to use the chat to follow up on the progress on their claims, etc. Okay, so that's just some highlights of what's coming. We then have a tool called My Money Matters available today. Anyone can log into My Money Matters. In fact, this is probably going to become the registration site for AF Connect. It won't be branded My Money Matters, but that's the registration site. And My Money Matters is really just, in a summary, it's almost retirement benefits counseling in a website. So there's lots of educational content on here in terms of when changing jobs, what it is that's important to consider in terms of contribution rates, preservation, etc. When leaving your employer, creating the understanding of the importance of preservation, the impact of taking cash, etc. when retiring from an employer, and lots of other financial educational content. This is a public site. Anyone's able to use it. So please, we will send you a copy of the presentation. There's a hyperlink on this image of the actual website, but please go and explore it. There's lots of brochureware available there that you can share with your members just to help them better understand finances and how to achieve a better retirement outcome for themselves. Next one is a tool that we called My Retirement Picture, and it does literally that. It's done through gamification. So you actually create an avatar for yourself, a little image of what you look like. Interestingly enough, people love that section. No one skips that section. Everyone creates an avatar. I'm not sure if it looks like what they actually look like, but they love creating an avatar. You then model your current retirement savings. So how much have I got saved up to date? How much am I contributing on a monthly basis, etc. We then give you some education on what a guaranteed pension is all about, what the pros and cons are of a guaranteed pension. We ask you to model your current expenses. How much are you paying for your house, for your car, for internet, for your school fees, whatever your expenses are, medical aid. We ask you to model all of those. And we also ask you to prioritize those expenses in terms of what's the most critical expense versus the least critical. We then again go into education, where we teach you about ways to achieve a better retirement outcome. So if you don't have enough money and you're close to retirement age, what can you do to supplement that? Not only ABCs, there's always a second job you can take. If you've got a cottage on your premise, you can maybe rent out your cottage, or if you've got a second property, you can rent that out, but lots of different ideas on improving your outcomes. We then teach you about flexible pension options, so like living annuities, etc., in terms of what those mean and what the pros and cons of those are. And then we literally show you a picture of what your retirement is likely to look like. And this picture is interactive. So it shows on the left-hand side, at the bottom, it shows your income at retirement, and you'll see on the screen there's a date. The year is 2026, and this member is 65 years old. So at that stage, the member is likely to earn a pension of, in this example, just over 5,000 Rand, but their expenses are going to be over 6,000 Rand per month, based on what they modeled into the tool. You can then drag the slider at the bottom, which will project those calculations forward, and the picture on screen will literally change depending on your financial situation. So if you're really well off with retirement, that bus that you see on screen is likely to be a nice little sports car. But then as you start running out of money, that bus changes into a smaller car, eventually public transport. Your house starts off as a mansion if you've got enough money, etc. But critically, it shows you which of your expenses you're not going to be able to afford at what point in retirement. So it really is a very useful tool for people to make retirement real in terms of what it means for me as an individual, based on my actual savings to date, my savings patterns, etc. Okay. Also a public site. The link is in the presentation, so please get your members to explore it. Please go and explore it yourself. Okay. Any questions for me on member solutions?